Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up using code Hawkeye and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, and the best daily promotions in the business. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matters more than ever. Remember to use code Hawkeye and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Place your money line, prop, or parlay bets with the king of sportsbooks today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Iowa only. New customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Baker's, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Baker's worth it every time. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
No music, no intro. I'm a little downtrodden right now. So Ryan and I recorded a great episode with Catherine Tyrell of The Athletic. And most of it recorded, and then we were having some audio difficulties. And doesn't seem like the second half of the entire podcast. It's just gone, just in the ether.
Oh.
It's in the ether. I guess that's
Did you at least save the first part?
Yes. Yes. First part is saved. So we're gonna what a fucking mess. We're gonna post both episodes. So it's gonna be like the first episode with Kat's gonna be like a little appetizer. Like it's an appetizer. And then this episode is focusing on Sunday Night Football, Saints against the Packers. We apologize. We will tell you that the second half of that episode that we recorded with Kat was really fucking good. Like it was good, guys. Trust us.
That's messed up.
I'm sorry. I'll just whatever. Anyway, let's get into the game. Our apologies to Kat for this snafu, but Saints against the Packers, man. Saints are 1-1, coming off an embarrassing loss to the Raiders. Not because of who the opponent, well, kind of a little bit who the opponent was, but also just how they played. And then you have the Green Bay Packers 2-0 coming into town. Looks like Aaron Rodgers is back. Be interesting to see if Devontae Adams plays. He was do not practice both today and yesterday.
Yeah.
So, his question, his status for the game is in question. And I don't want to I know it sounds dumb to say this, but man, this is a big game. Like, if the Saints want to show like we're here and we might have had we might have stubbed our toe, but like we're someone to take notice in the NFC, like they got to come out and prove it against the Packers.
Yeah. No doubt. It's huge. It's huge for playoff standings if the Saints figure themselves a team that, want to go deep into the playoffs. It's huge just for like a personal, like just a team win. You take care of the Packers, you could feel kind of good about yourself that you're moving in the right direction. And it's huge for the fans, man, because Saints fans, we out here like, what's up? Man, all this talk about the most talented team on paper, and it's a veteran team, so they should hit the ground running and all that stuff. It just hadn't come to really fruition yet. I mean, they all 1-1. That's not terrible. But offensively, what we're used to seeing, we're just not seeing. So it's definitely a huge game and a point, that Saints fans are going to be watching just to see how this team actually looks. Record is one thing, but Saints fans, we're at the point where we want to see how the team looks.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
For sure. And we could start. I'll start with the defensive side of the ball. Because I think the story of the game, a lot of attention is going to go to Aaron Rodgers, as it should. But if you want to, I think if you want to beat Green Bay, you got to take their. We talked about this when the Saints were playing the Raiders. It's all about Aaron Jones. He's a monster, and they can run so many things of their offense through him, running the ball, catching the ball. He can run routes. He's such a good, complete back that's where. And if you look at how the Saints played Josh Jacobs in like that first quarter, like when things were good, like they're like, oh shit, like Josh Jacobs ain't gonna do shit against the Saints defense. Like he got him bottled up. And as the game moved on and wore along, that was not the case. Right. I will say that the Packers' offensive line, I don't think is up to as the par as the Raiders' offensive line, even though the Raiders were down starters. So this is how and the good news is, Marcus Davenport got him a little stretched his legs a little bit, got him a little practicing. So we don't know if he's going to play or not, but this to me is a game that the defensive line, they have to show up. Whether that stopping Aaron Jones has to be the focus, and they didn't do that well against Josh Jacobs. And if they play how they did against Josh Jacobs against Aaron Jones, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the defense is major key to this game. And surprisingly, the Saints defenses, even under different coordinators, they've done okay against Aaron Rodgers. There was a game what was that? Was that 2011 Week 1? He kind of torched Greg Williams' defense. That's Week 1, and Drew Brees torched their defense. There was the game, I don't remember, it was 14 or 15, where they handled Rodgers pretty well. There's 2012, where the defense was dumpster fire that year.
Is that the Jason David interception against Aaron Rodgers game?
The 2000, I think that was the 14 to 15. Jason David. That was 2008.
God,
that was a 2008 game. Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, that was Rodgers' first year, actually. Yeah.
Was it really? Shit.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. That's crazy, bro.
Ain't it though?
Man, but I think I just have a feeling that the Saints defense is going to do their thing against the Packers. I think they know. I think it's going to get them up. It's going to get Sean up. Sean going to be up. They're going to be on point. I think the defensive line going to be ready. I think Cam Jordan going to be ready. I think Sheldon Rankins going to be, all of them. I think they're going to be ready, and I think they're going to go in there with a plan. But, LaFleur, he runs kind of that, Kyle Shanahan type of scheme, especially in the zone runs, man. You got to watch that.
Stretch.
Man. And Aaron Jones, like, they don't run him a lot. I think he had like 18 carries the last game. But all it takes is like 2 that he can really pop off and change the game.
Change it completely. Yeah. Like he had when Brett Hundley came in, was that 2017? Mm-hmm. Aaron Jones played well against the Saints in that game as well. I think this is going to sound weird to say. My concern, and this is kind of and I'm not trying to critique or be, negative Nancy when it comes to Marshawn, but lesser, again, something about lesser receivers. I don't know if he's not as in tune or not as focused, but it just seems he has not great games against lesser receivers and Adam Thielen. Like those are just like his kryptonites. And if Devontae Adams doesn't play, then you got, Valdez-Scantling, you got Allen Lazard. There's the Marshawn Lattimore that we saw in week 1 against Mike Evans, like that same Marshon Lattimore had to show up even if Devontae Adams doesn't play.
He has to.
Has to. We've talked about how it is a no-brainer for the Saints to pay him. And I still feel like that's the case. Like you're just not going to find Marshon Lattimore's like just anywhere. But his consistency, and I feel like I'm harping on him when he's shown stretches of just being dominant. But like to me, like this sets up as a game where potentially, like if Devontae Adams doesn't play, like I don't want that Marshon. And I'm not saying he took Bryan Edwards lightly or anything like that, but the Marshon that, like, speaking of that 2017 game, his play against Devontae Adams in that game, like that's when me and you both knew.
Yeah,
we knew. He was in Slidell. Like you couldn't find Devontae Adams that game. Granted, his quarterback was Brett Hundley, still in the league. Shout out to my guy. But
it didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
It was like this is good coverage.
Period. And so the Saints got attacked last week with running backs and with tight ends. Right now the Packers don't possess a tight end that can do what Darren Waller does, but not many teams do, if we're just being honest. Jay Sternberner, who the Packers drafted, I want to say in the second or third round of last year's draft from Texas A&M, was kind of drafted to be like the replacement for Jimmy Graham, and be like their new tight end in the future. He hasn't really worked out. Like he's still in it. Like he's not the player that they want the Packers to be right now. So I feel a little confident that they don't have like a Darren Waller type of player at the tight end position that can hurt the Saints defense like Darren Waller did with the Raiders. But Aaron Rodgers playing outside of structure, scramble drills, all that, it's going to be tough for the Saints defense. It's not going to be an easy task for them.
It's a challenge, but I think I think they do play the type of offense that the Saints defenses would like to go up against.
Yes.
And their nickel and dime looks. But it is going to be – that run game is going to be – the run game is key, man. Like, they are going to have to stop that run game early. And to counter that, the offense is going to have to put up points. You can't sit there and try to nurse 7 points or 14 points. Like, the Saints offense is going to have to respond. How they do that, considering where we are, with Drew Brees in the passing game, they're going to have to figure it out. They might need to lean on.
Yo, you there? Sorry,
maybe all that.
You cut out just for a little bit. You said they might have to lean on, and then you completely cut out.
No, I was just saying they might need to lean on Alvin Kamara.
Absolutely,
he's been consistently the best player on the team so far. So it's like go to your dogs. And you kind of just hope that the Drew Brees thing kind of turns around. Is he a deep ball thrower? No, he's not. We know that. He's not going to push the ball downfield. But the biggest issue so far has been his accuracy within that 50-yard range, which is supposed to be his bread and butter, and always has been. He has been like an 80+% passer in that range. So you're going to need at least that back to where he's hitting those throws in the short to intermediate range and letting his guys do the work afterwards. And that's going to be major key.
Major key, without question. If you look at the Packers defense, the Saints offensive line, their consistency on like a snap to snap basis has been really not there. Like there are some snaps where they are fine, but right. just overall consistency, like the offensive line plays just seem like it's been off.
And we talked about this on the podcast for weeks, right?
Yeah.
Like the cohesion.
Yeah, man.
Just about every player missing time during camp. It's just that was the major question going in, and it's showing right now.
Absolutely.
It's not a cohesive unit. It's There are some snaps where they look just like a dominant unit.
Yep.
Some snaps it's just not together. And for Drew Brees, where he is not at now with his age, everything has to be perfect.
Has to be. And so, look at the Packers defense. Zadarius Smith, who the Packers got from the Ravens last year, had an incredible season last season as a pass rusher. And they also got Preston Smith from the Washington football team, whatever the fuck you want to call him, whatever. And so so I'm kind of looking at from their defense last year and, some of their trends from this season. The Packers' MO defense-wise was great pass rush, but at times they could get blocked up, and typically they were very susceptible to the run game. Kenny Clark, who is their nose tackle, pretty much a dominant run stopper, sets up everything for the Packers linebackers to stop the run game. He missed last game against the Lions. I believe he practiced on a limited basis today. So he may potentially play on Sunday night. You said it best. This game is going to have to be an Alvin Kamara game. This doesn't strike me as a game. And the Packers secondary is okay. Jareer Alexander is a very good young cornerback. I loved him coming out of Louisville. That was the Marcus Davenport draft. Just loved him as a player, and he's shown to be a really good cornerback. But it just doesn't strike me as a game like you need to just go out and just pass. Like,
no,
I see like the Packers' defensive liabilities potentially is in the run game. So if it's Alvin, if it's Murray, this is kind of the Taysom Hill homecoming. Like, let him get in there and try to, do what he does. And, Packers, how Sean can be in terms of motivation shit. Like, oh, they cut you, blah, blah. Like, how Sean is, bro. Like, you already know how that's going to go. Like, oh, they waived you. Like, this is your, type of thing.
So Sean probably not a copy of the transaction or Taysom got. You know what I'm saying? He's going to print that shit out, put it in his locker room.
On his locker, for sure. That's the most Sean thing ever, bro. And so, but it's, Cat was, so to give people's, Cat predicted that Saints would win. I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel in terms of, I think Sunday just left
honestly don't know.
A bad taste in your mouth as a fan, no matter if you're like Ryan and I, who aren't super attached anymore, or even if you're a diehard fan, like, you're all just kind of like, I don't know how I feel anymore about this team.
Don't know.
And I think Sunday night's going to be a huge, huge indicator of what the Saints potentially may have.
Yeah, because, as Saints fans, you're kind of battling two things. You're trying to, even me, I'm battling, historic trends of what I've seen from this team, and I'm battling the present and the likely future. Like Drew Brees is 41 years old. Like at some point he's going to drop off, and maybe this is it. Like, so it's not like you're crazy to ask the question that, okay, is Drew Brees enough? Like, no, it's not crazy at all. Like, he's a 40-some-year-old playing quarterback. Like, of course he could be dropping off. Like, that's not crazy at all. So you're just trying to balance what you see, but it's just one of those things where you just going to have to wait and see, man. Like, we really don't know. Just going to wait and see what product they put on the field. I'm deep in my gut. I feel like they're going to turn it around, But again, that's just me projecting what I've seen from this team over the years, how they get up at the right time, And so, honestly, I really don't know. But that's just my gut. I think they're going to turn it around, man. I think I don't see the offense coming out and just being like on fire and putting up 45 points. I just don't think they're there yet. I think this offense is going to take time to get right, but I could definitely see them improving slightly and having a plan sticking with a plan that works. I could see Alvin Kamara going off, having a great game. Murray having a great game. I could see.
I think this is also going to be a big game for Jared Cook.
Yes, yes.
I think
because it's been right there. It's right there.
It has, and I think a good way to exploit this Packers defense and kind of how Mike Pettin runs defense is attacking the middle of the field. I already talked about the Packers linebackers, and they have some good linebackers. You know, their pass rushers and Jadarius Smith, Preston Smith. They've signed over Christian Kirksey from Cleveland this past offseason, and he's a good linebacker. They typically play 3-4, but I do think you can attack the Packers in terms of having a decent to good tight end. And so I think this could be a big Jared Cook game, a Taysom game if he's playing tight end. Also could be like I don't know if it would happen, but like this would be a great game for Adam Chapman to, have like a awakening of a sorts. And it's, to me, it's all, I think, how do I word this? The main issues I've seen typically with the offensive line these past two games have been interior pressure, which was exactly what the Saints' problem was against the Vikings. So typically, Za'Darius and Preston play the edges. So they're going against Ram, they're going against Tehran. Sometimes Mike Pettin may, put them inside. There may be some double A-gap pressures, whatever have you. But you have to be hopefully confident and think that your two stud bookend tackles can block up the edges and allow a pocket, and hopefully Drew can be able to navigate that and connect on some passes. But we talked about this with Kat. Don't know if this part got recorded or not, but we drafted a highly touted offensive lineman from Michigan. He's not playing. We don't know if he's going to play on Sunday. Pass rusher from Wisconsin, 3rd round. He was active, week 2, didn't play, and pass rush was kind of lacking in the Raiders game in the second half. I need, like, as a fan, I gotta see the rooks, man. Like, I know they're young and I know they got hurt in training camp, but like, what do you got to lose? Like, let them loose. Like, let them loose. Like, because I think what you have in Easton. You already paid Pete money, even though you knew what he was before you paid him, but whatever. So, what more can they do except go up? Is the way I would look at it.
Right, exactly. Because knock on wood, they're pretty healthy as far as relative to the rest of the league.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, and with the addition of Zach Bond, if you can get him in there, I said on the last podcast I didn't expect him to play plenty snaps against the Raiders last week because they had him as like a strong side linebacker, and in the nickel and dime defenses that they run, you're just not going to see a Sam on the field like you want. But in those pass rush situations, it's like, there's nothing wrong with having a fit pass rusher. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
let him get up, let him get in there and cut up.
Get Trigger Trey out there. Davenport was limited today. I wouldn't expect him to play this Sunday.
Could you imagine if he gets like 2 limited practices in and he still don't play on?
That's what I think gonna happen. I think he's gonna be an active Sunday. Just me personally, I don't think.
Saints
he missed a lot of time, bro. Like, he been out. Like, he was out a good 2 or 3 weeks of camp, and 2 weeks of the start.
Yeah, man, that's a good point. He's missed essentially like what, 5, like a month and a half of like.
And like not there, like not even on the side. Like, I can see if they're like, Marcus Davenport's on the side, on the bike or whatever. He ain't been seen. Like,
he pulling the Jarius Bird.
The bird. They're like, where is that boy, bro? That nigga ain't even seen, bro. Like, what the fuck? What the hell kind of elbow injury he has?
Pat, you know what this is? Hashtag Big Freak season.
Big Creek. Big Creek ready, boy. I'm just, but like, I mean, the DL man, Aaron Rodgers, he like to hold on to that ball and ticket too. Like, they could do something.
This is a prime game, and that's a great point, Ryan. This is a prime game that the pass rush, if if the secondary and the pass rush aligns, they should be able to get a lot of pressure and sacks on Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
You know, with coverage sacks and what have you, because that's a great point. He does like he's not the gunslinger that he used to be. Like, he's very strategic when he takes those shots. And he'll I won't say he's gotten especially last year, he was very conservative with the ball, extremely conservative. When we've seen these past 2 weeks of that, like, he's kind of letting it loose, letting it fly a little more. But I think, like you said, I think that's a perfect point. Like, this in theory should be a good game for the pass rush to cook, like, to get there. Interior pressure. So as a Saints fan, if you're listening to this right now, and this is one of my biggest pet peeves about a player in the league, I try not to be down on players. David Bakhtiari of the Packers, left tackle, he's touted as an elite left tackle. He's been to, pretty sure he's been named All-Pro, been in numerous Pro Bowls. Yeah. Don't think I've ever seen a left tackle hold as much as he does, and it does not get called. So so when you're watching the game, I don't want you to be mad about it. If you listen to this episode, just know it's going to happen. Just know it. Just I've seen enough Packer games in my life to know that he holds so much and it just never gets called. So
he is an elite holder.
I'm sorry, like, I don't mean to shit on a player who plays in NFL, like, whatever, but, like, I gotta call it like I see it. Like, he holds so fucking much, it never gets called. So if you're expecting pressure from that side, which is the side that Trey Hendrickson plays on, typically Big Creep, Marcus Davenport, if he happens to play, temper your expectations is what I'm trying to tell you. Temper them down a bit. And it'd be interesting to see I think it's also like, I think this shit, I don't know, it's off between Drew and Emmanuel Sanders. And Emmanuel Sanders talked about, like, the timing, and he's not, he doesn't have 85% offense, what have you. But they, like, I don't know what it is, even like just running more intermediate routes and just being in, like, Drew's line of sight. Like, to me, like, in theory, like, this should be a game that Emmanuel Sanders should, I'm not saying he's going out there catching 20, 30-yard passes, but, like, 10, 15, like, this should be a game that he should do very well at, and we just don't know.
Yeah, I can't think of what is going on with Emmanuel Sanders. I don't know if it's Drew. I could see two passes from Drew to Emmanuel Sanders that were super low, like low to the ground, and just set up to failure for Emmanuel Sanders. But then I could think of somewhere it's like, what kind of route is Emmanuel Sanders running here? So it's definitely a connection that kind of needs a lot of work. Like, I hope they're working on it. But, that's another thing when you talk about where Drew Brees is. Drew Brees in the past, he was getting every snap, just about every snap during practice. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He was working out with the receivers after the game, working on timing, working on things. That's not Drew Brees anymore. He's getting his Wednesday off now, or Thursday, one of the days. He's not, doing the after practice thing because he's trying to maintain his arm and make sure he gets a good recovery during the week. So I think that plays heavily into the whole timing and anticipation aspect and the precision passing aspect of the offense. And, especially with Mike Thomas out, I think that's just a part of the issue. And that's why it's going to take a little time for Emmanuel Sanders. But hopefully they kind of gain that connection. I was trying to think. I don't know if Emmanuel Sanders ever played in a West Coast offense as far as the language of the plays.
So let's see. First, he was in Pittsburgh, and I think he was in Pittsburgh with Bruce Arians.
Yeah, and that's not a West Coast.
It's not a West Coast. And then he went to Denver.
Yeah, they had Mike McCoy, I think.
Was he there with Adam Gase too?
I don't know if he was with Mike McCoy. I know he was there with Adam Gase. Adam Gase was there. And I don't know what kind of offense Adam Gase runs. I'm sorry.
And then Adam Gase doesn't know what offense Adam Gase runs either. Neither does any player who plays offense on the Jets. Oh God, what
Right.
a fucking dumpster fire that shit is. Like, just as a podcast, I don't know if we can pull it off. I would just want to get Manesh on here and just let him just unfiltered, just let him go.
Just let him rip. Get the next metal on here, boy. I would love this.
Just let that chopper sing, bro. Like, just anyway. Maybe that's something we can work on just for entertainment purposes, bro. We get Manesh fired. Like, we post that Manesh would have a job the next day.
But, speaking of Emmanuel Sanders, what's funny is, the Saints talked about when they signed him, they weren't really looking at his San Francisco tape. They were looking at his tape in Denver with Peyton Manning and how he used to, rack up all this yak yardage and all that stuff. But I was like, man, that was like 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was 5-6 years ago. Like, he's 30-something years old. He might not be that player, that yak type of player that he used to be. He still looks good. Like, when I see him move, he still moves great and all that stuff. But I hope they'll add that variable in. Like, he's not the same player he was when he played with Peyton Manning in 2013 when they were, smashing record books and stuff like that. He's a completely different player from that point because, Father Time has kind of caught up with him. Not to the point where he's washed up or anything, but he's just not the exact same player where he's just can catch a 8-yard curl and just turn it into something. You got to work a little bit. So I think they're still trying to figure out each other as far as like how they're going to play and how they're going to be productive.
Yeah, I mean it's a work in progress. We've talked about it before, just in terms of the Saints. You keep bringing it up that under Sean Payton, the Saints have not been a September team. Like those are just facts. So it's a work in progress, but like after they're showing against the Raiders, like they gotta come out and
they gotta come out,
bro. Like they gotta come out. And I'm not saying it needs to be old school. I mean, in theory, in a perfect world, it's an old school, primetime Saints game. It's over by like middle third quarter. Like your feet are up, and we just out here tweeting jokes, and it's all funny. But after Sunday, after Monday, ooh, boy, I don't know.
I'm hoping like a Seattle game from last year where special teams on fire, defense on fire, and the offense is, good enough. Alvin Kamara going off, just a good overall team win. Like just all phases, just everybody just playing as well as they can. Just a good showing on, and you come away, maybe you win by a couple of points, but just a good overall team win. That's what I'm hoping for, and I'm kind of expecting.
I mean, obviously, hoping for that too. We'll see what happens. But it's kind of crazy to think about it because that's Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
That's the appetizer. Because we all know what the main course is Monday night.
Woo!
Ooh, buddy!
And Lamar, man.
Like
Lamar is, man, like he's become a good passer.
And it's fun. Like I know people are tired of my stick about. I get it.
Hashtag let it go, nigga.
I get it. But I just think it would be. We will never know. But it would have been fascinating to see what Sean would have been able to do with Lamar. Like I think that's even more fascinating as opposed to Sean and Mahomes. Like I kind of already know what Sean and Mahomes would look like. Like,
yeah, I
know what that looks like. It's like the 2011 Saints offense, like hyperdrive. Like that's what that offense would look like to me.
Yeah.
But with Lamar, like it would have been fascinating. It honestly would have been fascinating.
Yeah, I really don't know what it would look like, and I don't know how much the Saints liked him. I've heard they liked him, but I just don't know. I know they loved Mahomes, but with Lamar, it would have been real fascinating just to see how Sean approached that. I don't know. Would he have done a better job than Greg Roman and them are doing? I don't know. I just don't know because like they've really taken the whole Lamar experience and they've done it kind of correctly. Like
they embraced him.
They just embraced him. They didn't say, "Oh, we're going to try to turn you into a pocket passer." They just sprinkle every season. They sprinkle a little more of the pocket passing, but still let him cook as the way he cooks. You know what I'm saying? And it's basically what you wish
RG3
happened with Vic. Oh no, RG3 too, but yeah. Vic too. Yeah. It's like it's what you wish would have happened with those guys. But it's like, man, he's like the man. Like I know if I was a kid right now, if I was like 14, I know I'd have like a Lamar jersey.
Bruh. Easy. So, I mean, we're not going to spend – I mean, I think we kind of covered it, everything. It's not going to be a super, super detailed, intricate,
We just waiting to see, man. You ain't got to break this down to X's and O's.
Nope.
It's all about who going to show up Sunday. Who's showing up.
That's it. Any other thing and anything else in week one that got your eyes perked?
Nothing crazy, man.
Can I say how annoying and just eye-rolling it is that the Rams are good again?
I told you, bro. Like, I had them.
You did.
As a playoff team, man. It's like, I just had a feeling that McVay kind of figured out. Who did they play this week? I think they played.
They played the Bills, so that's why I brought it up.
That's a good game.
That's a good game.
That's a sneaky good game.
That's a good game, man.
Because the Bills, the Bills are for real. Like, ain't been since the early 90s.
I still don't buy it. I
don't buy it. I'm not a Josh Allen. I'm not a Josh Allen guy, bro.
I can see them winning a playoff game, but I don't.
I can't buy the quarterback. I can't. But he has made some good throws.
He's absolutely throwing some dimes. But there's always there's just plays that happen week one, week two, when it's just like I can't take that seriously to win in crunch time. He's just airmailing, easy layup touchdowns in the end zone, and they're 6 feet above the tight end's head. I can't. So that's a good game. I'm looking forward, to. Hate how the whole Tyrod situation played out.
Yeah, but old Herbert, sleepy boy.
Boy, he said, "I got something for you niggas."
I was blown away, bro.
Bruh.
I was blown away because I am not a Herbert fan at all, man.
I had seen him play like that probably once at Oregon. That's it. But man, that was he and it sucks because as a football head coach, you see that performance and you see what he did with the Chargers offense. I don't, even when Tyrod is done suing the Chargers, about to take those Spanos to the bank, bruh. I don't know logically how you take Herbert out if he has a repeat performance as he did in week 1 and 2.
He can't. And Andy Lynn lying his ass off. He's like, "Oh, Tyrod's the starter." Stop,
bro.
Tyrod Taylor is a progress stopper. Love the kid, good kid, but you drafted Justin Herbert for a reason, and he showed that he was at least ready to play games. Every week not gonna look like last week. He's gonna have a 3 interception game. He's gonna bad some games, but now's the time to get his experience, and then you know what you got going into next year. Start the boy and get it moving. You're in LA, you're in your new stadium. Start this thing rolling, man. It's not. I wouldn't even question. Adley Lynn get on my nerves, man, because they really could have beat the Chiefs. They could have beat the Chiefs.
They could have.
But you got to drop your nuts, man. Come on, man. You on 4th and 1 in overtime, and you know who's on the other side of the ball. Fucking Patrick Mahomes. Once you punt that ball, the boy gonna make 1 or 2 throws and kick the ball and win the game.
How crazy is that? That's where his status as a player in the NFL is right now.
That's crazy. Fear.
You know, that's nuts. Like, I was here because I was at home watching the game. I will say I agreed with the decision for him because if they don't get it, the game's over anyway. Like, I understood that logic behind it. But as soon as they punted, I still was like, oh, it's night time. Like, that's it. It's over.
Yeah, and there were other decisions before that I was like, oh, come on, man, drop your nuts, bro. But, you know, it's just, it was kind of like, you know, it reminded me of.
He reminds me of when I go to a casino and I just don't ever bet anything. Like
Exactly.
Like, oh, how much is it? Like at blackjack, $20 for a bite.
Exactly.
Ooh, that's high.
Right. Exactly, bro. Like, but if you can't win if you don't play, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
oh God, I hate. You know the fucking.
But me, I take the same approach. I'm like, shit. At least I ain't losing. But man, this the NFL.
Right.
You know
yes.
like, I play to win.
But yeah, I mean, there's some interesting games, but we'll see what happens on Sunday with the Saints, man. And then our goal is to do another rapid recap show Sunday night after the game. Get Ryan nice and turned. That I believe we did like almost 385 ish in a day ish.
Like in less than a few hours, it was just boom. So we appreciate y'all listening to that one.
Yeah, we hear y'all. So y'all either want to hear kind of a little cuckolding. It's fine. It's okay. Like y'all relive that pain again. That's cool. So hopefully on Sunday night, it's we're having jokes, we're having fun.
Oh man.
You know, we'll see, man. I just want one of those Saints games where it's like a 40 burger to like 17, like one of those Colts games.
Man.
Where we can just get on here and just cut up. And
man, I would love that, bro.
I don't know what these niggas.
That's like the best. That's bliss, bro.
It is, man. It is. I mean, I will say, even if the Saints lose, at least they don't mess up my entire, they don't mess up my Sundays anymore at all. But like Sunday got Red Zone on, tuned up all day.
Woo. Man, it's beautiful.
Don't gotta worry about nothing.
Beautiful.
But with that, we're out. We'll be back. We will be back Sunday night, recapping the game, and we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, it's a
Shout out to the Patreons. We love y'all, man. Y'all, man. Like I look at that and I'm just like, thank you. We got some stuff for y'all coming. We getting our shit together. Me and Adam, we sit together. We plotting all the time. So got some stuff coming for y'all for real.
And shout out. I mean, we got to shout out to the guy Gene.
Gene.
What it do, my dude? Like I gotta give love to Gene. Gene's been. I want to say like with me, but. Gene was a huge supporter of the Saints Twitter podcast, or excuse me, the Saints Talk podcast that I originated and started with Nick, and was just a big fan of that show on social media. Was always pumping it up, getting the word out, and here he is with the hashtag Saints Twitter podcast, still sending good vibes. What he posted on Twitter about our show. We can't thank you enough. We appreciate it. We see what you donated to the Patreon. Appreciate it, Gene. Yeah. Much love, bro. We really do. We're glad that we can provide some humorous entertainment with the crazy things, with the crazy world of the New Orleans Saints football team. Again, it's like family, and if we're not laughing and having fun, even when things seem quote unquote bad, then like what are we doing this for? So with that, we're going to get out of here. We appreciate all our support, all our listeners. Packers, Sunday Night Football. With that, we're out.
Peace.
Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up using code Hawkeye and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, and the best daily promotions in the business. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matters more than ever. Remember to use code Hawkeye and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Place your money line, prop, or parlay bets with the king of sportsbooks today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Iowa only. New customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Baker's, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Baker's worth it every time. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.